Good day, everyone, and welcome to Home at the Hollow. Welcome to my kitchen and to the 12 days of Christmas cookies. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's cookie recipe is an orange or cherry and chocolate pinwheel cookie. Very simple to do, freezer friendly, and most of all, delicious. So if you are interested in a recipe like this, or if you just want to come and hang out with me in the kitchen for a while, then keep on watching. So guys, this is going to go by very, very quickly, and they're going to be these pinwheel cookies are going to be so pretty, but I'm going to go through your ingredients list as quickly as possible. I have 2 sticks or 1 cup of butter, very soft. I have 1 cup of granulated sugar. I have 1 egg at room temperature. I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I've already sifted it. I have 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. If you have salted butter, just please omit the salt. I have 1.5 teaspoons of grated orange rind. Now, if you have orange extract, you can add 1 teaspoon of orange extract, but I didn't have orange extract, so what I did have was a container of frozen orange juice concentrate, and I've added just a teaspoon of that to this. But we're going to make the basic dough up first, separate it, and flavor it from there. I also have on my warming center over here 2 ounces of semisweet chocolate. If you don't measure like that, then that would be about 1/3 of a cup. But I'm going to just go ahead and get started. And like I said, this is really so easy. I have made these so many times before, and you guys know me. It has to, be able to be frozen and brought out and served when I'm ready for it, not when it's ready for me, when I'm ready for it. And we're just going to get that good and mixed up. Going to add my egg. And I'm going to add about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Just a wee bit. Going to add my salt and my baking powder to my flour. I'm going to start incorporating this. So I've got this mixed well. Let me set this aside, guys. And I made sure I scraped the sides up, and it's going to look crumbly. Sorry, guys. It's going to look crumbly, but, malleable. And at this point, I'm going to just kind of, I'm going to take this and you know, as roughly as I can. I've basically divided my dough in half. Okay. By rights, I really shouldn't weigh it. I should. I want to see, you know what, I'm going to just see how close I am. You guys forgive my absence, but I'm going to just see how close I am. Just for the hay of it, right? Let's tear that out. Let's see, this one is 15 3/4 of an ounce. And this one is 15 3/8. Pretty close. So I'm gonna say that's good. So to this one dough, I'm gonna just simply add my orange rind. And if you have orange extract, that's great. I just simply didn't. Now, if you don't like orange, or if you just want to do something different than what I'm doing, a good option to go, because we're going to flavor this with semi-sweet chocolate. But first, if you don't want to do orange, because I believe I did orange in one of my other cookie recipes. But anyway, you can do a chocolate cherry pinwheel. You can substitute with a 1/2 cup of drained, minced maraschino cherries for the orange rind and the orange extract. But if you do that, simply because of the moisture in the maraschino cherries, add 3 tablespoons of flour to the dough so it won't be too soft, because you are going to have to roll this dough out. But this looks pretty good to me. I like citrus. I like maraschino cherries. Cherries are okay in my book. It's not on the top of my list. I mean, I can bake cherry pies and turnovers and all kinds of wonderful things, but I don't care to eat it. So anyway, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to just set that aside. I'm going to put this in this bigger bowl. Going to get my chocolate. It's about 1/3 cup. And I have my doubts. I think it's pretty warm. Yeah. I have my doubts if I'm going to be able to actually do anything with this with my hand. Let me see if I can find a good alternative. So the best thing I kind of figured I needed to do was maybe just give it a little bit of a spin. My chocolate was warm but not too hot. You don't want to add it if it's too hot. And we will get this mixed up. So I've measured roughly a 15 by 8 piece of wax paper. I've got a little bit of flour here on my hands. I'm going to rub it on my rolling pin. I'm going to start with the chocolate. I finally got the chocolate incorporated in here. And just a little bit of love, a little bit of turning, and a lot of patience. I love playing with dough. So that's looking pretty good, and I'm going to get this rolled out. Get some of this out of my way. You know, you see the marbling, that's okay. That's no biggie. It's all gonna It's all going to work out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll both of these out exactly the same size, and I will be back in a moment. So after making a pretty good mess, now this one, when I first started rolling it, I did measure 15 by 8, and I kind of just modeled this one after it. All I've done is basically picked it up and like put it on top of there and said, yeah, it's good. So what we're going to do, if I can, is I'm going to take the chocolate. I'm going to lay it just right on top of here. Peel that back. And I think I need a little bit more flour, guys. Just a little bit. Get you guys into... And it looks pretty happy. We're going to start on the short side. And this is a little bit bigger, and that's okay. It's going to all totally work out. I'm going to use my wax paper to start rolling. And get up there. Yes, I'm talking to the food. Oh, golly. Got a little bit of sticking happening here, which is unfortunate. It's always terrible. Let's see how we're doing over here. Not bad. I'm going to fold that down. I really should be using the wax paper. I'm going to do a little bit of repair, and that's okay. I'm going to just, just kind of square it off a wee bit and just kind of, make it look like I want it to. And what I'm going to do at this point is, I think I've got plenty of flour on here, but what I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to roll it around a little bit to make sure we're working with a round pinwheel and not kind of a D-shaped pinwheel. And I'm going to take this, and it looks pretty good from here. I may take it out halfway along the cooling period and, just kind of make sure it's going to stay round. But at this point, I'm going to put it in the fridge for probably at least an hour. I'll take it back out, and when it's with the weight that it is, when it sets, it's going to develop a flat bottom. So I'm going to leave it in there for half hour, check it, turn it, and if I have to give it a little love, then I will. And then I'll come back and pull this out and slice it up. I allowed my dough to refrigerate overnight. And as you can see, I've baked a few off and tried them already. But this is the other part of the dough that was left beyond that. I'm going to slice this. Gosh, I don't want to slice them too thin because I don't want too crispy of a cookie, and I also kind of want these cookies to be even. As you cut, you need to, or you don't have to, but you could rotate. Instead of getting a flat edge here, you can rotate as you cut. And I'll turn it this way a little bit because as you push, you know, you're going to be doing that. But, or you could, if you want to, you could use like some dental floss, slide it up under it, pull it up and do it like that. But this dough, you know, after being very well refrigerated, slices up really just fine. And, you know, if you make a flat edge, the dough is really not that difficult to manipulate and to work with. 350. I'm going to start checking mine at 10 minutes, but 350, 10 to 12 minutes, more than likely, since mine are a little bit thicker, they'll probably go 12 minutes. So guys, oh my goodness, these cookies turned out delicious. I mean, they are so, so good. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to just grab one and hold it up for you. I think you guys can see. That's the top end. This is the bottom. I couldn't be more pleased with the orange concentrate that I used instead of like an orange extract. It really boosted the orange flavor up. I think that these would be really super, super pretty if you choose the maraschino cherry option to put maybe just a drop or two, I don't know, of a little bit of food coloring. That would be very pretty. I personally, I like to kind of just see the natural cherry bits, you know, just kind of like the orange bits that's running through here. I kind of like to see that. If you have one that does not have a perfect edge or has, you know, a flat edge or is maybe a little bit of a D shape, you know what, don't panic. Don't fuss and fret about it. Just take, let's see, I'm going to just say, let's just say this one is not absolutely perfect. I've got some milk chocolate here, a little bit of butter, and some half and half. And what I'm going to do is just dip this edge in a little bit of chocolate. And if you have some sprinkles, and I have a little bit of sprinkles here. If you have some sprinkles, then certainly, you know, go for it. But I'm going to just put a little bit of sprinkles here. And this is just some flavored sugar that I made. Or if, you know, if you want something a little bit brighter, I have confectioners and half and half mixed up very, very well. And just hide your edge, and it's, you know what, it's all okay. It's Christmas, it's cookies, but these, guys, these are so, so delicious. 350, 12 minutes. I didn't go any longer than 12 minutes. They can probably go as long, you know, as long as 14 minutes, but I don't like to sit and just feel like I'm eating a potato chip. But that's just me. But gorgeous, gorgeous, and they will, it's, you know, it kind of reminds me of a bit like a shortbread. Oh, you guys, I hope you try this. Excuse me. You will not be disappointed in your efforts. And certainly if you have older kids that, you know, kind of want to be a little bit grown up and help a little, let them measure, let them play in the flour, let them play in the dough. What's the worst that could happen? Right, guys? Thank you again for joining me here home at the Hollow. Goodbye, guys.